Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of Hearts of Iron 3. Surrender to Janzi Click. They continue the fight. That looks like a Comintern flag. So it looks like Russia, or the Soviet Union, is doing all the things that they are doing. I guess we're still working on public dissent. It's going down by 0.0 each day. We could use some more consumer goods to lower that down. Our officer ratio is well enough, and we were still working on our technology. So our industrial efficiency is going to be done here in October of 38. So a few months away. Looking at our production, we're almost, we're 35% of the way for our next factory, which is all well and good. I kind of want to boost up some consumer goods, because if we can lower that dissent, our industrial capacity will actually go up. So let's make 1.95 consumer goods. Try to lower that dissent just a bit. It would surely be nice if we could import some consumer goods from our friends in the United Kingdom, for sure. Looking at the Axis powers, they have 27.5 of all victory points, 316 out of the 1100. We have 24%, but that will go up tremendously whenever the United States decides to join. If the United States decides to join the Allies, the USA is drifting towards the Allies, not going towards the Axis or Comintern, so it looks like things will be a little bit more historical through here. And as soon as the United States joins, then all of those victory points are going to count, and we will look fairly well. Comintern looks the weakest of the bit, but let's see, Nationalist China is now part of the Allies, so there's some more victory points in our pocket. And indeed, yeah, the current investment in consumer goods, the dissent is dropping slowly but surely. So that will improve our industrial capacity up. We're losing 0.7% now, and that's going to tick down the more that people get their consumer goods, which means our factory will be a little bit faster in being produced. Baghdad still wants 3 tactical bombers. Good luck with that. We don't want to do any such things. That would be 300% of our Air Force. We only have literally 1 plane in our pocket. We got a ton of money. It's a shame that we can't spend some of this money and get, say, more supplies, or, hire someone to build us a factory. That would certainly be nice. So far, it looks like everything is going okay. Germany has taken that little bit, and Danziger War might be coming soon, if it didn't already happen. Germany is right on the Maginot Line. And yeah, it looks like Poland is ripe for the picking. I believe Czechoslovakia will be taken first by Germany, and then that will really kick off the Poland expansion. We are about 1 year away from the historical start of World War II. Hopefully by then we can get our factory up and running, at least to help us produce something here. Right now it's scheduled to be April 4th of 41. So no, we're still 2 years past the start of World War II until our factory gets done. Once the war kicks off, we might be able to do some political measures to increase our industrial capacity now that there is a need for it. At least that would be my ultimate goal. Let's see, if we do civil laws, let's see, is there anything for industrial capacity? Not in the civil laws. Conscription laws, we are a volunteer. Once we... Let's see, neutrality is below 65, unity is at least 60. Neutrality, I think the neutrality would go down whenever, let's see, if all of the below, ruling party is not a democracy, so we're not. Neutrality is below 70. Yeah, neutrality, once Germany kicks off and we're actually in the war, I don't believe we will be neutral at all. And then we can do the draft or the 2-year draft. Reserves penalty impact is reduced. Peacetime manpower rotation. I think once the war kicks off, we won't be in peacetime anymore, so that would be good. The service by requirement boosts our national manpower. It boosts the officer recruitment, but we don't really have anything as far as officer goes to worry about. Reserves penalty impact is reduced as well. That's fine. Economic laws. So looking at the economic laws, the war economy will boost our industrial capacity a bit, and even lower our consumer goods during wartime, that will mean we spend less production on consumer goods and we'll get a 25% bonus. So much better than our research can give us for sure. So we need to stick it out until, say, the United Kingdom declares war on Germany, and we will be affiliated with that war. I think our neutrality will drop then as well, and then we'll be okay. Now, once this consumer goods drops below, or the descent drops below 0.1, and we get all of our industrial capacity back, we can scale back the production on those consumer goods and put everything towards our factory. Still April 4th, 1941. Okay, so we really have to get rid of all descent in order to get rid of that penalty, which it's worth it in the end. We'll slow down our production just a little bit to get, there we go. Now we'll just do what they need to maintain, and the factory production will increase just a bit, and the change should be solid. Of course, we need a lot for supplies, we need a lot for reinforcement. Hopefully we are getting supplies from our friends as needed, so we don't really need to dedicate so much to supplies. But reinforcements, once our industrial capacity picks up and we're able to get that factory going, we'll get 6 industrial capacity, a whole extra point to play with. We could spend some of that in reinforcements and whatnot. At that, the edge scrolling on this is pretty severe. So what is Germany up to? Because this all hinges on when Germany decides to go. Once Germany decides to go, and Italy decides to go, and the Allies get dragged into war, everything will kick off in our favor, I believe. Let's take a look at Germany, shall we, and see what they're up to. Their threat to us is 2.25. Their neutrality is 47%. Our neutrality is 70. So we need to drop below that in order to really kick things off, I feel. The United Kingdom's doing a good job of bringing in people into our sphere. So we've got Japan there and Italy. That's historical with Hungary. Manchukuo, Shanxi, and Communist China decided to join the Axis and not the Comintern, which is very interesting. You think communists would be the Soviet Union's sort of deal, but they are fully Axis now. Because they're a puppet of Japan. So they were forced into the Axis even as a communist state. I wonder if there is some rebellion or something that may kick off there, since Japan is an Axis member and the Comintern is a different government type. Well, the communist China would be a different government type. Where is old communist China? Mongolia, Shanxi, nationalist China. Then it looks like there's a border. Shanxi click. Portugal. Man, what's Portugal doing over here? Is that Hong Kong? Yeah, I believe that's Hong Kong if my geography works out. United Kingdom has a bunch of land here. The British Raj was what this was called in Hearts of Iron 4. And the Soviet Union looking pretty intimidating up there all by itself as per usual. We're just ticking along here, speed 4. We're at 10 September 1938, so historically, we are less than a year away now for the kickoff of World War II. So once that kicks off, we should be able to finish up the factory that much quicker. We'll be getting a full boost to our production. At least the 25% of 5 would be, okay. I'm not gonna lie. 25% of 5, would that be the extra 1 industrial capacity that we need? Math is never my strong suit, but if we can get that extra point and we can kick up that production even more by 1 to speed that up, we would be doing very, very well here. I'm surprised no more national events have kicked off. I'm not sure exactly what Germany is doing or what they're working on. But I expect to see Czechoslovakia completely and utterly gone here. They're drifting toward the Axis. but they're up here near the Allies a whole ton. They have quite the drift needed to get down to the Axis. So I believe they may just get kicked to the curb by Germany. Let's see if they still think that Japan is our biggest threat. Yeah. In our region, Japan. Their belligerent actions may be used to justify aggressive behavior of your own, but we can't because we are a puppet, and that's not our call to make. So who is the biggest threat to the United Kingdom? Of course, Germany. 36.1. Their neutrality is 80%, though. That's going to have to drop a metric crap ton for them to become involved. Germany's going to have to do something pretty extravagant, which, of course, declaring war on Poland and maybe bringing in the Soviet Union would be enough to spur on. Who is leading the United Kingdom here? Can we see about their government? Because it would be nice to see, is it Chamberlain? Is it Churchill, or is it someone else who is leading the charge there? Can't see anything more about them. I guess that would be the spy network strength in our intelligence. So if we were to go to the United Kingdom, we can see their military tech and what they're researching. They're researching a ton. I wonder how much industrial capacity they can put out. We don't really know much about them as far as what they've got. Yeah, we don't have any spies in the United Kingdom either. We don't care about Oman. Let's just see. We've got 2 active spies abroad. 1 in France, even though I told it to not send one to France. We need them here. What do we know about France? Yeah, holy crap. 30,500 metal, 16,000 power, 5,000 oil, 9,000 fuel. We've got 59. It's a good thing that we're not a motorized division. 44 diplomacy points to spend, 973. They got some dissent, though, and a 65% national unity. Yes, I know. Supply resources are almost done, but hey, we'll get some from our friends, I believe. I mean, what else are overlords for? Who do we have up here? Turkey. There's the annex of Czechoslovakia. So Germany annexed a big part of Czechoslovakia, and the remaining country left is just Slovakia. Now that has got to be a belligerent threat. There has to be some threat here. Our threat in our region isn't high. But what does the United Kingdom feel about Germany now? 55.9 threat. Lowered their neutrality a bit. I believe that was 80. So now that Germany has taken the remaining land of Czechoslovakia, is that Poland kicking off? Is Germany at war with Poland? Sure would be nice to see. Germany, Germany, Germany. They have claims on Lithuania and Poland, and Slovakia is a puppet. Let's see. I think there was a way to see current wars, but that definitely looks like mobilization right there. Now, Poland is trying to do a pretty good job in defending its territory. They haven't moved in yet, but it looks like they might stage some units here in Slovakia, and there goes Poland in kind, trying to respond to the headquarters movement. So forts all around Czechoslovakia that Germany just took. So all that hard work that Czechoslovakia was doing to prepare for an invasion, they just sort of gave up. There's the Soviet Union right along the eastern border of Poland. It looks like they're going to conduct Operation Smash. How's Romania looking in these days? They're drifting toward the Allies. So Romania, 2.61 toward the Allies, but 2.35 toward the Axis. So Romania is being pulled very equally in both directions. Hey, side with me. Hey, side with me. That may change if Hungary gets in this piece. Being a member of the Axis, you know, that's a lot of influence they can pull on Romania. But it definitely looks like Hungary is gearing up, putting its troops on the southern Polish border. They haven't officially declared war, I don't believe, but it certainly looks like it's a game of cat and mouse along the southern border. A lot of Polish territory is unclaimed, especially if they can move in and take that air base. If they have an air force that they can move planes into, that would give them a very strategic circle right here. And there's no anti-air around their airfield, so they could bomb the crap out of it if they wanted to. Hey, Poland, I see some things wrong with your organization there, good sir. All right, technology is about to kick off. We're October. At the end of this month, we'll get a few more industrial efficiencies, and then we'll get the support weapons a few days after that. Then we'll have to move everything up back to the top of the queue. Let's take a look at our industry. So advanced combat engineering. Yeah, the industrial efficiency 10, and we're still not ahead of time. As long as this is not past 1938, we will continue to research them and get our industrial capacity still up there. 15 February 41, so we managed to shave off a few months off of that factory. And it all comes down to when the Allies, or when the Axis pushes the Allies too awful hard. As soon as they declare war on Poland, I think it's going to kick off. We'll be officially at war, and then we might be able to switch to that wartime economy, get our industrial capacity kicking. The amount of consumer goods we have to produce is lower, and that just means industry. Kicking that industry right up. Kicking it right in the junk. So at the end of this week, we'll have our industrial production 4 and efficiency 4. That should lower the amount of time needed for this factory as well. Since we're not going to spend any extra on consumer goods, and we're not going to spend anything extra on any of these just yet, all of that extra will go into the production of these factories. Well, this factory, our first factory. So this, there we go, production advance. Industrial capacity plus 10, mechanical engineering 1. Let's make sure that that is at the top of the queue. And that looks to be done in April of next year. So not bad at all. Waiting for our next one. Let's take a look at the technology. Yeah, 1938 is when we should know it. So we will be set. This will be the last time that we research industrial efficiency, because we won't have the ahead of time bonus after this. Let's see, we can do infrastructure building there. It's a shame we can't do construction engineering too and make factories quicker. That would certainly be a very nice thing to do. Infantry weapons are about to go up. Of course, I believe we also need the reinforcement or the upgrades to put all of that back into the force, which we should hopefully get, you know, in our wartime economy. We'll be able to reinforce our troops just a bit. If they're at war with the Axis and not the Allies, we don't really have to upgrade them so awful much. There is our defensiveness and infantry theory. So let's take a look at support weapons 2. Support weapons 2. Let's see, there's the support weapons 2, 1936. Small arms 4 is 1940. So that's ahead of time. So we could do the support weapons 2. We can also do artillery, but we don't have any real artillery, but there is some toughness there with our infantry. The engineer brigade is 35. Construct engineers. I don't think we need engineers. I think small arms 4. I mean, that's a pretty big bump, but it is ahead of time, so I don't want to pay that penalty. Anti-tank weapons, infantry heart attack. That looks like something that we can do. So let's do that, get our infantry heart attack, and put that to the top of the queue there. And keep the supply organization down low. So let's see about our factory now. We're still doing all of that good stuff. We're still at 5 industrial capacity. So 2.63 is all we can squeeze out of our current production as of now. 15 February 41 is still our slated time to get that factory up and running. Yeah, France has their southern borders secured. Yeah, this looks pretty intense. It looks like Soviet Union is also putting a lot of infantry on the border. And this is where we are really going to be able to kick off. As soon as they start moving in, we'll see how the United Kingdom responds. Still putting in all of that research. The supply organization will be done in February, actually, even with this reduced research time, which is good. We won't have to send as many supplies up top, but we don't have to worry about supplies anyway because we're being fed all of our supplies. Yep, 10% from improved technology. Our very easy difficulty is boosting this even higher. I would hate to try to play as Iraq in a normal game without that 50% bonus. So all of this research hasn't proved fruitful just yet. But I would like to think that it improves these little numbers here. Let's see. Convoys and escorts. We've got 2 convoys. If we create a convoy, we create a supply convoy. Yeah, we can't even do that. So maybe it's up to the United Kingdom to feed us our stuff with their convoys. It would certainly be nice. Yeah, February 15th, 41. We're progressing at 35% total capacity. It would be nice to boost that at least up to 50. But yeah, 7.5 production needed to make one factory is just tremendous. It's a shame that there is no reduction of costs. Electric and mechanical engineering. Electronic engineering theory. Let's see. We have 6.8 skill in mechanical engineering, which impacts the research with 50%. So we have some mechanical engineering from learning how to build factories, but we have no electronics engineering to learn how to build electrical things in nature. Which makes sense. We're pretty behind the curve as far as industry goes. Yeah, nothing on the secret tab we can do. We're still working on our infantry. The anti-tank weapons will be good for us to get some heart attack. Since we are running just infantry, anything that we can do to do infantry attack would be nice, for sure. So it looks like Poland might be seizing up their southern border with Hungary, leaving that wide open for Slovakia, though. Well, Germany. Yeah, they're just going to get pinchered. Although if these units go too far in, then they could be routed if these guys fall back and you know, pinch them off and force them back. But, you know, that's up for Germany to do, not for me. Those are bonuses. I really haven't even looked at this outliner. I'm sure it'd be handy if we actually had some equipment, though, to use, which we don't. It is a shame that the war hasn't kicked off yet. Keep it off of our borders. We don't want Germany coming through here and starting to press on us. I believe we only have one victory point as well, and that would be Baghdad. We definitely don't want to lose victory points. Where's the victory point map mode here? No, we've got a couple. So we've got Baghdad, we've got Qasr, and we've got Qusban. So those are the three that we need to protect at all costs. I guess these two could route over here by Kuwait. If we're not going to war with Saudi Arabia, it might make sense to do that. I guess the trade or the resources would be able to come over here. And we might have to fall these infantry back over here. It has an anti-aircraft gun. I mean, that's all well and fine. It's a shame we can't, like, break down the anti-aircraft gun and get some industrial capacity back to say that we're using some of these, you know, parts and pieces to build our factory with. Because right now, still, February 15th, 1941. Still looking at the mid-next year. So before September 39, when it historically kicked off, we'll have our industrial efficiency up, and we'll even have our infantry anti-tank weapons up. Let's see, militia support. I mean, technically we are a militia right now, if we haven't mobilized. And we're trying to get our industry knowledge up for sure. Agriculture, increase in manpower. We don't have a manpower. We need 3.6 manpower to reinforce our army. We've got 85, so manpower isn't going to be a thing. We have plenty of guys not doing anything. The atomic research would improve our nuclear physics. But that is not going to be, you know, plausible for us. We don't even have a factory to make a reactor with. Weather. Precipitation 100%. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool if in, say, Hearts of Iron 4, which I haven't been back to Hearts of Iron 4 in quite some time, but to see, like, the storm fronts rolling over the top so you know what weather you're going to be fighting in, that'd be pretty cool. I might need to stop in and play some Hearts of Iron 4 once again. It's been changed a lot since I did my first campaign, so I might be like a fish out of water here. Yeah, we're actually going to complete our supply organization tech before we complete our things that we're focusing on. That extra 0.24 is doing wonders here. Since we don't need officers and we don't need diplomacy, Great Britain is going to do all of that stuff for us. See, electronic and mechanical engineering. See, things like radio and radar. Research efficiency, though. The census tabulation machine requires mechanical engineering at 1. So since we'll be ahead of time in our industry, we can then spend some of our points here in mechanical engineering, get that census tabulation machine, and get 2% research efficiency. And even more research efficiency right there. We would be on time to do that. So that definitely seems like a good way to go until our industrial production and efficiency are on time. So that looks pretty good. We'll definitely do that. The electronic computer machine. So we need to do mechanical computing machine to get the electronic computers. And that needs to be at 2, the mechanical computing machine. So we research that. And then we can get down to there. The decryption, I don't think we need decryption and encryption. This is as far as we can go down this in order to get something. But research really isn't the thing that we're focusing the most on. We're not certainly a research-heavy country. So once we can get our bonuses to help our industrial production and efficiency, like everything goes into industry. Infrastructure, I mean, would be nice if we had the factories to actually build roads with, but we don't. Like, that's not in our cards. That's not what we do. So we would use the extra research to improve our small arms. Probably our, let's see, engineers with assault weapons. Engineers, soft and hard attack, forced attack, urban and jungle. The improved security units, political suppression. So if we build security, we could keep the dissent down, it looks like, with the improved security unit. I don't exactly know their... Yeah, it's just political suppression. Maintaining civil order. And all that good stuff. We don't have to worry about Arctic equipment. Desert would certainly be nice. If we look at the terrain map mode, all of this is desert. We've got some plains, hills, mountains on this side, and hills. So if we can improve our desert warfare and become a Fremen, as far as that's concerned, fight like crazy in the desert, that'd be really good. We need infantry support at level 2. Surge of volunteers. National manpower plus 10. Let's fight. We don't use any. How much do we gain? Monthly gain 0.6. I mean, every little bit helps when the war does kick off. So for desert warfare, the attrition's reduced for the infantry in the desert. And then we don't have any Marines, paratroopers, or mountains divisions. So the 1% reduction in infantry desert attrition would be pretty good indeed. So we might do that. Light artillery needs to be at 2. Infantry anti-tank weapons needs to be at least 2. We're researching level 1, and we are not going to give up the calculator and the computer while we do that. Although if these are ahead of time and we can't go any further than this, then we might be able to spend some of our extra research on getting the infantry support to 2, which we're working on right there. So we're researching infantry support. Oh, we have a little bit of... Okay, so that's how much we've researched already. So we've got a nice head start on infantry support 2. But it's 1939. This is the year that World War II should kick off in full force. Italy annexed Albania. Denmark is mobilizing. So things are kicking up. So Albania was annexed. Switzerland's remaining neutral, I guarantee. All right, so Italy looks to be making moves. That will increase the threat level. Their neutrality is 30%. So yeah, they just want to go. The highest threat is nationalist Spain to Italy. To Germany, the highest threat is Denmark. Now their neutrality is 41%. Definitely going to drop. They may make the decision to go for Poland next, which would help us out. Is Poland a member of the Allies? Yes, they are. That'd be the kicker. As soon as Germany decides to go in. Now Denmark is mobilizing against Germany, I imagine. This is the Netherlands, so this is just Denmark. They have a very narrow flank to push. But I mean, if Denmark could secure... Now that is a massive... They've got a coastal fort, they've got anti-air, they've got a naval base and an air base. Kiel is a very attractive target to take, and I imagine it's defended quite well. Because Poland is a member of the Allies, we can see what's on their borders, and it looks very intimidating. Lithuania, where do you fall in the grand scheme of things? Drifting towards the Comintern. interestingly enough. So the Soviet Union is trying to sphere them. So unless they join up with the Axis, Lithuania won't be going in. But if they bring in the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union makes them a member of the Comintern, then Poland will have pressure from all four corners. Which is bad news bears for them. Yeah, hopefully we can get some good bonuses to technology here once we get all of our research done. But we're doing what we can. We're staying out of it, trying to improve our country as much as possible, but there's really nothing we can do. We are just so far behind the curve as far as building goes that, you know, this is our bed, and we're going to have to lay in it until some of this technology pulls through. Yeah, that'll boost our industrial capacity up to 12.5 and 12.5. And that'll be our improved technology up 12.5%, which means 62.5 overall bonus. And when we've got base IC and 62% of that is improved, shouldn't our industrial capacity be like 7? It seems to me it would work that way, but our industrial capacity is still just 5. That's what we've got. And either way, we need 7.5 at full bore to produce this factory at 100% speed. That's where this industrial capacity is going to really come in. Nice to see our descent is staying at 0, though. We're making exactly what we need to make with the consumer goods. We don't need, we do need upgrades, we do need reinforcements, but we don't have the infrastructure to do that. So Germany, what you doing, man? You feeling froggy yet? Is he going to go before September 1st? That we have to ask ourselves that question. Because as soon as he does jump and we get pulled into the war, hopefully we'll get the alert that we can change our politics and get the war economy going. And maybe even total economic mobilization. What do we need to do with this? Just at war. So once Germany goes full bore against the Allies, we'll be pulled into the war immediately, and then we'll be able to do the total economic mobilization, increasing our industrial capacity another 50%. Then our factories can start churning out some good stuff. So that is what we are waiting on indeed. We've got our education. So money is reduced, but leadership goes up. That is helping us do technology and whatnot. Yeah, it's helping us research our technologies. So we like the bonus for research for sure. Mixed industry. Consumer goods during wartime is reduced. The consumer goods during peacetime is reduced, and supply throughput is improved. Once we don't have communism. And we're not going to have communism as our ruling party. That's for sure. So we can't get the industrial efficiency for production improved with the improved supplies. So we're just going to have to stick with the mixed industry here. As far as the state press is concerned, the tendency to drift, we got good counter-espionage and a good reduction in national unity change. The propaganda, the Iraqi Communist Party or the Arab National Socialist Party. So that's not going to be us to do propaganda, so that's as good as we get. Specialist training, we get good starting experience for our troops with a boost in recruitment time. So if we give them basic training, they get a little bit of experience and we can spit them out faster. That may be something that we can do whenever we go to war. Because right now we just needed a few troops that were really skilled. And we did produce that division. That's pretty highly skilled. The specialists. But if we have to really start cranking out troops, then basic training might be in our cards here. So things are continuing on as they do. Supply organization will be done next month, increasing our supply throughput. Industrial capacity will be right after that, and then we'll have our anti-tank weapons. So we need to see, whenever these are done, will they be ahead of time? If they are, we can jump to the electronic and mechanical engineering, and I think I want to do that anyway. As soon as the supply organization is done, we'll start working on that. Then we'll use our next bit to do the census tabulation machine, which will be the next thing that we can do. We don't have to worry about radios or anything like that. We'll just branch off here and do what we can. Infantry, though, since our desert warfare requires infantry support at 2 and anti-tank at least 2, we can work on that as well. It's just so much we need to research and so little time to do it. And then maybe once we do go to war, we can get some more leadership points, but probably not. We'll just do everything we can to keep these at 0. We don't need officers or anything like that. This is how much we are going to research for the time being. Almost halfway done with our factory already. It seems like just yesterday we started building this thing. It's creeping slowly but surely up. And Germany is slowly but surely creeping up on Poland. So I have a feeling, I don't know how many months that we did in this particular episode, but next time it looks like Germany may jump on Poland. And when they do, a lot of things are going to change. Our production will go up. We'll get a lot of industrial capacity because we can go full wartime. Our economic mobilization, so we can hit that up because we'll just be at war. And then we might be able to do something else as well. That 50% bump in industry is going to be huge. And then we'll just have to sort of watch and see what happens to us. Do we get invaded? Do the Allies watch our western side? Does Saudi Arabia jump in, or Turkey, or Persia? Like we're surrounded on all sides, so we'll have to see what happens there. But that's going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We are slowly but surely heading towards World War II, and Poland may be the next person to fall. And when it kicks off, it's going to kick off big. But that's going to do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next Hearts of Iron 3 video. Take care.